under ground number 6 of our impeachment complaint of the people of the Philippines. I'd like to state, the respondent Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. culpably violated Section 2, Section 1, and Section 6, Article 3, the Bill of Rights, respectively, of the Constitution, in causing the arrest, detention, and rendition of former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte to the International Criminal Court in The Hague, Netherlands. These are fundamental rights guaranteed to every citizen of the Philippines, regardless of positions. And these were all violated. And if you violate the fundamental rights of Filipinos, you commit the crimes under the revised penal code. These are crimes against the fundamental rights under the revised penal code. The President is the chief implementer of the revised penal code, and yet he masterminded the extrajudicial rendition of former President Duterte. Kaya hindi basta-basta yung sinasabi niya na wala siyang kinalaman. Kasi siya nag-implement ng batas. Hindi ito about politics. He disregarded the right of a Filipino and put in danger and bargain away our national sovereignty. Nasa aming complaint din yan. So thank you very much.
Thank you. So, to summarize, you would like to say, to summarize all the points, yung gist na we mentioned na yung case na in articles that we will find our renowned lawyer, Attorney Ferdy Topacio, and also to give the closing points on the articles of impeachment. Attorney Ferdy.
Magandang tanghali po mga magulang at mga kapatid. Hindi ko na po uulitin yung mga points. I think my fellow complainants have made everything so clear. Ang nais ko lamang po sabihin, very briefly, ay the common thread that runs through all of these accusations is the policy of the present administration of bend the law. Why am I saying this? Some of this may not be included in the complaint, but in law, sa batas po, previous acts constitute pattern that will prove the allegations being made. Ano yung policy nitong administrasyon na to na bend the law, na napapunta kaya merong appropriated allocations na sinabi na ng Korte Suprema in the 2013 case of Belgica na unconstitutional. Ito po, tingnan nyo kung paano binibend the law. Kaya dapat pong matigil na to by removing the president. Nakasasabi lang po itong mga kasama ko yung kay Presidente Duterte. Ito pa, kung napansin nyo, even before that, for the first time in legislative history, mayroong committee hearing sa House wherein the council was physically prevented from advising his client. Ako yun, doon sa WADCO. Again, for the first time in our country's history, yung rules regarding the appointments and consideration of the JBC, in-ignore. Anong ginawa? Pag kami kaso, di ba, hindi pwedeng consider ng JBC. Anong ginawa? Just for the case of Remulla, Boying Remulla, tinanggal yung rule na automatically docketed just to say na walang kasong docketed against Ombudsman Remulla para ma-appoint siya. Break the law na yun, hindi na benda na yun. Ano pa? Yung abuse ng administrasyon ng hearsay, nililin lang po ang taong bayan. Ang hearsay po, sabi sa akin ni Ching, babaero daw, si General Garcia. Yun ang hearsay. Pinotektahan mo na nga si Ching. Pumalag pa kayo, pulira naman kayo. Pero pag nakita ko mismo na ng bababae si Ching, kaya binalik ko na kay Ching, hindi po hearsay yun. Kaya yung sinasabi ng hearsay si Sandy ko, hindi po. That is eyewitness testimony. Matibay po yun. Yung sinasabi nilang si Leviste ay dapat i-authenticate yung Cabral files, mali po yun. Mali yung ginagawa ni Ping Lacson. By the mere fact that a person was placed under oath in the PRC hearing, at sinabi niya, nakuha niya yung kay Cabral, siya mismo. That is proper authentication under the law. Pero sasabihin nila hindi. By the mere fact that a member of the family ay sinabing out of her own personal knowledge na gumagamit ng droga ang Pangulo, hindi po hearsay yun. Wala pong hearsay doon. Si Gutesa, the mere fact na sinabi niya, nag-deliver siya ng pera kay Martin Romales, hindi po hearsay yun. Eyewitness account po yun. Bendalo na naman. Yung bribery ng mga kapatid na Remulla, inalokay sa bilyon, may interest mo yun. Attempted bribery yun. That is a crime. Ano ginawa nila? Pumunta sila sa media, sinabi nila, oy, may nag-attempt na mag-bribe sa amin, ayaw naman sabihin kung sino. Oh, they were sworn to uphold the laws and faithfully execute the same. Bakit hindi nila sinunod yung batas? Yung restitution na sinasabi nilang dapat mag-restitution. Ito, very tricky to. I hope you will give me 5 minutes, Congressman. Alam niyo kung bakit tumututulo po kami sa restitution? Ikwento ko po sa inyo. Yun pong restitution, unang-una, wala po yun sa witness protection law. Pangalawa, yung restitution po, very tricky yun kung igagawin mo yung kondisyon for inclusion in witness protection. Bakit? Ako, nagnakaw ako ng 1 bilyon. Sabihin ko sa DOJ, boss, babalik ko ng 400 million. Iyo yung 200. Oh. Maybe 400 million pa ako. Witness protection, state witness, wala na akong criminal liability. Absuelto na ako. Ngayon, sinasabi ni Fatulyon, pwede daw mag-agree ang DOJ sa restitution kung anong amount. Hindi po pwede. Why? Allowing a person who stole from government to keep part of the loot is a contract that is contrary to public policy and therefore null and void. Hindi po ako nagsabi niyan. Yan ay nasa civil code. Look it up. Kaya po, in order to recover ill-gotten wealth, yung sinasabi ni Boying na, magtatawa na naman tayo yan. Hindi natin ma-recover. Binigyan agad natin ng immunity. Hindi po. Mali po si Boying dyan. Meron pong provision for civil forfeiture of ill-gotten wealth. Paano po? Ang Office of the Solicitor General ang magpa-file sa korte. Bakit po sa korte? Sapagkat hindi mo basta pwedeng sabihin, hindi pwedeng sabihin ng DOJ, ang inakaw mo ay 500 million, 600 million. Kukunin namin. That is deprivation of property without due process of law. Who determines kung magkano ninakaw? Ang korte. Kaya sasabihin nila, mahirap sa korte. Hindi po mahirap. Unang-una, aside from the fact that that is the process provided for by law, kapag civil forfeiture po, there are two presumptions that are in favor of government. Number one, the presumption that all assets over and above the legitimate income of a public official is presumed ill-gotten. Siya ang magpatunay na hindi ill-gotten. Number two, since it is a civil suit, it is civil in nature. Preponderance of evidence lamang ang kailangan. Hindi proof beyond reasonable doubt. Kahit maabsuelto yung tao, pwede pa rin kunin. Because it proceeds independently of any criminal action for graft, lumber, malversation, etc. against the erring official. Kaya po sa korte, ang mangyayari pag sinali mo yung restitution sa pagpasok sa witness protection, that is fraught with the danger of graft and corruption. Magkakatawaran yan. Kaya hindi po nilagay yung provision na yan sa witness protection. Kita nyo na. Pagkatapos, dinedefensa nila. Bakit? Gusto nilang, they want a piece of the action. O, di ba? Kita nyo eh. Kung bakit, binibendalo na naman yan. O, doon sa impeachment, bendalo na naman, kahapon lang. O, can you imagine? Sinabi na sa Section 3, Rule 2 ng Rules on Impeachment, ang Office of the SecGen. The SecGen is not the Office of the SecGen. The SecGen does not exercise all the powers. The SecGen does not bring the powers of the office of the SecGen with him or her when they go abroad. At fundamental po with any office, any office in government, kapag umaalis yung hepe, may OIC. Bakit ayaw tanggapin ni Atty. Momoy? Ay, Salonga. Momoy ba? Hindi Moy, di ba? Haifa. Okay, whatever. Hindi ko nakakuha yung kasi namumutla kahapon kaya medyo nanginginig Okay, anyway. Tayo ba pa nag-file tayo sa hukuman ng kaso, kailangan nandun yung press? Kapag nag-file ba tayo ng appeal sa Office of the President, dapat nandun yung Pangulo sa Malacanang. Bakit ito? Kapag nag-file ka, kailangan nandun yung Secretary General. Huwag naman, di ba? Ganun siya makapangyarihan. So, ito po ang pattern na gusto namin i-break. You cannot ignore the law. You cannot bend the law. You cannot be violating the Constitution and the laws without facing the consequences. Because as President, lahat po yan, ikaw ang may command responsibility. Sabi nga ni Roosevelt, di ba? Si President Roosevelt, meron siyang nakalagay doon sa kanyang desk, the buck stops here. Kahit ano mangyari, ako yan. Kung may credit siya yun. Kung may kasalanan, siya rin yun because he is the head of the executive department. And when he made an oath nung siya'y nahalal, sinabi niya, he made a solemn oath that it will be his duty to protect the Constitution and faithfully execute all laws. Kaya po meron ito na petition ito because hindi niya ine-execute ang law, ine-execute niya ang lahat ng tao na sumusunod sa batas. He's not only bending the law, he is breaking the law. Salamat po.
Thank you so much, Attorney Topacio. We now open the floor to questions from our friends in the media.